All right, Matt, after 30 points last night to help your team beat MSU Billings, you scored 18 here this afternoon against Alaska Fairbanks. Talk about the type of looks you were getting and the chances that your teammates help you create.
Yeah, throughout the weekend we were really moving the ball well, and I was really able to get the looks I needed. I'd struggled in the last 4 games, and needed to just get my confidence up, and I eventually just got the looks I needed. My teammates were moving the ball, found me in the right areas, and I just knocked them down.
You were one of 3 players in double digits in today's game, Josh Ramirez with 14 and Rio Tawatari with 13. Talk about those guys and how the 3 of you really took charge today.
Yeah, they were huge. They really took the pressure off me and really picked their spots well, and they made timely plays. Rio made a couple of huge steals and layups, real tough finishes, and Josh, he banged down low really well and really scored when we needed him.
When you're able to go on a road trip like this and you're facing a couple teams in the West Region, what does it say about your team to come out 2-0 on it and beat 2 West Region teams?
Yeah, it's big for us because we've never played two teams from the GNAC before, so it was big to prove that our Pac West Conference is, the elite conference in the West Coast.
And then what are your thoughts heading into conference play? How do you feel the team is prepared and what kind of momentum you have?
Yeah, I think these were huge, 2 games for us to really get. We had to start Friday against Fresno Pacific, and it was much needed and able to get, us rolling and have some confidence, like you said.
Coach, obviously one of your goals is to win every time you step on the court, but now looking back that you've gone 2-0 on this road trip, what do you feel that your team has accomplished beyond just 2 wins?
Beyond 2 wins, I think we had a chance, to kind of bond up here in the Great Northwest and also working on a couple things. It's early in the season, so timing and execution, it's definitely not where you want it to be. However, those guys were tested. There were teams both nights with Billings and Fairbanks tonight. They went on runs, and those guys were able to weather the storm and figure out how to get a stop and get a score ourselves, which is huge, as far as the growing process and building.
And Alaska cutting it to just a single point down the stretch here, and there were just some big free throws. Talk about your players coming through in the clutch and not buckling under pressure.
You know what? I think it's one of those things where those guys that were on the court, luckily they've played together for a couple years, except for Seth. He's been new, and he's a JC transfer, which adds maturity. But those guys, it's a fundamental part of the game, free throws. So those guys stepped up to the line and knocked it down. My only concern is we're pretty good when we get to the free throw line. We just got to figure out a way how to get there more.
And you guys were very efficient overall, 23 for 47 from the field and 8 for 15 from three-point range. Talk about the shot selection, if you think that was the main factor in that, or just why you guys shot the ball so well and efficiently.
I think it's 2-part. We were able to share the ball. I mean, last night we had 19 assists, and then tonight we had 13 assists, and we kept our turnovers, under 12, which helped us a lot. So we showed that we took care of the ball, and those guys, early on we got a lot of great looks because guys were screening for each other. They were sharing the ball and didn't let it stick a whole lot. So with that, those guys were able to be ready to shoot, and it's one of those things as a basketball player, it's a fundamental part of the game. You have to be able to score and outscore your opponent. So those guys have been putting in the work, and tonight it showed.
And it was a well-rounded effort by your team both games, but Matt Hayes did really step up. He had a career-high 30 last night against MSUB, and then, again, leading the team with 18 today. Talk about the leadership he brings to the table with his game.
With this game and this whole weekend, I think, Matt, he's fallen into, the vision that the staff had when we recruited him 4 years ago. And he's been, a freshman who played minutes, starting sophomore, junior. He's our all-time leading three-point field goal attempted and three-point makes. So it's one of those things where he didn't get discouraged, and any shooter knows that their next shot is probably going to be the shot that goes in. So I'd say his leadership has definitely been there. He was able to, grab guys and say, hey, let's get a stop or let's get to the free throw line, things like that, which were needed at that point in time in the game, which is crucial. And you always look for that, from your seniors, from guys who have been, in our own conference championship game in the Pac West, as a sophomore. And so now it's kind of nice to see him grow into his own and kind of have ownership out there on the floor.
And now, lastly, how do you feel your team has set itself up? You guys were 2-2 entering, and now you're 4-2 as you get ready for conference play.
It's nice to start conference on with some momentum, but we know our conference is tough, and we were picked, 9th overall, so we still have a lot to prove. We got a ways to go as far as our execution, and then also, bringing guys along on the bench and having those guys get better. And it's one of those things in practice. We got to work at it day in and day out to get guys up to speed, to get more chemistry, and then also get guys, comfortable in their roles. Not only that, and accepting their roles, And it's luckily for us, things are shaping up as far as guys, as far as who they're looking for with our seniors, Chris and Matt, and our junior, Josh Ramirez. He played well this weekend also. So those guys, they've accepted the challenge and they're growing up, which is amazing to see. And I only hope that we keep pushing the envelope as we get ready for conference play.